Let's talk Stil'rs. It's kickoff time for the Cigar International's Let's Talk Stil'rs show. Sponsored by Cigars International. Stop by our Bridgeville store today. Parking Chair Vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing. Forest Lodge and Campground. Cooks Forest, PA. Your adventure starts here. Visit Canton, Ohio. Red Fox Winery and Lounge. Let's talk Stil'rs.
Huddle up, Stil'rs Nation. It's Tank from Cigars International here in Bridgeville. Let's talk some Stil'rs. You know, my co-host, Mike McMahon, he got Lawrence Taylor and Joe Theismann. He's out for the rest of this season. He's hurting with the flu really bad, so no insights from the former NFL quarterback. It's just me. But you know what? There's some fans here at Cigars International we're going to talk to a little bit. I think we kind of see some things the same way. So let's start out talking about the Cleveland Clown debacle that happened up there by the Mistake in the Lake in Cleveland. You know, the Seattle Sea Chickens are leading the NFC right now. In case you're not paying attention to the NFC, the Seattle Sea Chickens, who lit your Pittsburgh Steelers up in week 1, are the NFC contender to head to that Super Bowl. What does that have to do with the Steelers and Browns game? Well, let me ask you this. Do you think your Cleveland Browns, if they played in the Super Bowl, would stand a chance against the Seattle Seahawks? You know the answer. They would decimate and destroy the Cleveland Browns. But yet your Mike Tomlin team went up to Cleveland and laid an egg against a team that's 3-100, that is hurting. They don't even have a starting quarterback. They're down to a third-string rookie quarterback who looked like Joe Montana against your Steelers. Yeah, sure. Sanders threw up a couple, I don't even know what those were, Hail Mary passes that got picked off. I think what you call them is Christmas gifts that Sanders gave to your Pittsburgh Steelers. And guess what? Your Steelers offense was not able to capitalize on those turnovers. Why? Well, certainly losing DK in this shambles of a mess, dealing with this clown up in Detroit, and now all of a sudden it turns out that the guy may have said something and he's taunted DK in the past. Roger Goodell, you're no friend to DK Metcalf, the Pittsburgh Steelers, or ethics. There's no way DK should have been suspended for 2 games, considering the prior history of this guy up in Detroit messing with DK specifically. I think the guy has a screw loose myself. I saw his press conference, and boy, he sure didn't look, well, as we say in church, an act of contrition was not given by that guy. However, losing DK against the Cleveland Browns shouldn't have made them stumble like they did. You lose Mount Washington with a broken arm halfway through the game. You still had effective weapons with Gainwell, Jaylen Warren, Pat Fryer. I'll catch anything you throw to me at any time, and I'll block anybody possible. Why hasn't Arthur Smith used Pat Freiermuth all season? Sure, he's got some catches. In fact, against the Browns, he looked great at times. This whole debacle in Cleveland, I think, is once again on the heads of Mike Tomlin and Arthur Smith, who again is just in the line of horrible offensive coordinators from Randy Fichtner, Matt Canada, and now Arthur Smith. Ask yourself, did the 3 victories that we rolled off, did that offense look like the same offense that was in Cleveland? No, it didn't. You go back to the other games, and it was quite apparent when Mike McMahon was here talking to me again. Mike's played quarterback for the Lions and Eagles. Aaron Rodgers was calling plays at the line of scrimmage during that 3-game winning streak. It was Aaron Rodgers' offense. Suddenly last week, it was like they took that away from him. put it back into Arthur Smith's hands. Give you an example. It's 3rd and 6. Arthur Smith, remember Matt Canada and his stupid jet sweeps? Every time Matt Canada got confused, he called a jet sweep. Arthur Smith, every time he gets befuddled, well, I'll just toss it out there and see what happens. 3rd and a long 6 against one of the most defensive, prolific against the run game, not so bad against a bad team, passing team. And they got Myles Garrett, who's trying to set the sack record, and Arthur Smith decides to pitch it out to the right, and it gets stuffed. Now look, I can't put the whole game on Arthur Smith offensively. Some of the wide receivers were just dropping balls like it was poison, like it would have killed them if they would have caught it. The Pittsburgh Steelers got what they deserve up in Cleveland. They got beat by an inferior team. But that surprised you from a Mike Tomlin team? I don't think so. All right, when we come back, we're going to look into the history of Myron Cope's terrible towel. You know, I'm on the golf committee for the Myron Cope Foge Fazio annual golf tournament to raise funds for Autism Pittsburgh. Every year we wave the terrible towel, we salute Myron Cope. So when we come back, we're going to take a look at the history of the terrible towel. Then later on, we're going to talk about that. Well, you got to play the Ravens here on Sunday Night Football in Pittsburgh.
Who is that man with the big cigar? He's known around from near and far. That actor man with the big cigar. He puffs away every night and day with a twinkle in his eye. And all the while, behind that smile lurks many an untold lie. Down Whitehall Way, you'll see his car. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere with the big cigar.
Parking chair vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing.
Lawrenceville Distilling.
Let's talk Steelers.
Half a century after its birth, it may now be the single most iconic sports item ever created for the fan.
Myron Cope's terrible towel. That is part of the Steeler lore, no doubt about it.
It's still one of one. I mean, people can have towels they wave at other sporting events, but the terrible towel is one of one.
Pretty cool. You look up there and there's, I guess, waving all these yellow towels and everything.
I mean, the towel in a lot of ways is like the Steeler flag.
The gold color just stands out so great in a stadium, and when our fans show up in masses, they usually do. The towel sort of helps them just take over the stadium wherever they are.
We're in Arizona, by the way, so you might not be able to tell by all those terrible towels.
With one simple gesture, the towel unites a nation, Stil'rs Nation.
It is
what they take with them into battle. It's their weapon, and they use it.
Woo! Look at all these terrible towels. Everybody got one. Look at it on. Everybody got one.
And when it gets going and that whole stadium is waving, it is something magical.
You still?
Became part of the people and became part of the culture. And to be a Steeler fan, you had to have a terrible towel.
I'm Lynn Swan, and I'm going to tell you how the terrible towel came to be, what I did that helped our fans embrace it, and why the tradition has endured for 50 years. This is a Stil'rs story. Over the years, Myron quietly donated part of the proceeds from the terrible towel to the Marquis Allegheny Valley School, a nonprofit that provides care for individuals with special needs. Myron's only son, Danny, was born in 1968 with severe intellectual and developmental disabilities.
You know, my brother's nonverbal, and so we don't know how much he understands. So it was hard for my parents.
Myron and his wife, Mildred, cared for Danny at home and tried various facilities to house him part-time, eventually settling on the Allegheny Valley School in the early 1980s. Danny Cope, now 57, has been part of their program for over 40 years.
Not everyone knows how to pick up on the cues of a nonverbal individual. Danny is highly intelligent. He really is. Does he speak all the time? No, but he is very self-aware of his surroundings.
Danny's sister, Elizabeth, takes him to dinner or a movie almost every week. Family members aren't required to pay for enrollment. Housing and activities are completely funded by grants and donations.
Some of these individuals, if they didn't have places like ours, I really feel they would be in a really, really tough situation.
By the mid-1990s, Myron had donated more than $100,000 of the Terrible Towel's profits to the school.
Even from the very beginning, he always gave some of it to charity, and he never advertised that, ever. And then like somewhere in the 80s, it became half. And then it became like a little more. In 1996, he decided to donate all of it.
In August of that year, Myron turned over all future Terrible Towel manufacturing and merchandising rights to the Stil'rs, while retaining his 20%. Then he walked into the offices of the Allegheny Valley School and donated all of his future proceeds from the sale of the Terrible Towels to the school.
I guess he was just very grateful for the care they provided Danny, and he was always worried. And I think he worried that my brother's school, like what would happen if they no longer had funds.
I don't even know how to begin to frame how thankful and grateful we are that we can continue our mission because of donations like we get from the Terrible Towel. We actually to date have received about $10 million in proceeds from the Terrible Towels. It's an incredible legacy for the Pittsburgh region, and we're really proud to be a part of it.
Over the last 30 years, thousands of disabled individuals have benefited from Myron's generosity. That single gesture guaranteed that the Terrible Towel would never be about merchandising or commercialism. It will always be about community.
Yes, yeah, that's a good way to put it. Community. It brings lots of different organizations together that normally wouldn't have any contact with each other. Their common tie is the towel.
Myron retired in 2004 after 35 years in the booth. The following October, the Stil'rs celebrated Myron Cope Night at halftime of a Monday night football game.
In person, he may not stand tall, but in the Berg, nobody stands taller than Myron Cope.
Oh, that meant a lot. That was such a special night. He loved Pittsburgh. And I think everyone in Pittsburgh loved him.
He embraced not only the community, but people embraced him for who he was and what he stood for and the enthusiasm that he brought to their lives.
Myron, you put the color and color commentator. You brought the fun to Steelers football, and through the terrible towel, you brought Steeler fans closer to Steelers football. We want to say thank you for 35 years.
I'm sure he would have liked to keep going, but he had to retire. His health wasn't well. I think about that night a lot.
Muzzle tov, dear Myron, muzzle tov.
To an organization that never once told me what to say, what I could not to say, to these players and the coaches and to the fans, thank you very much.
It means community, it means family, it means team, it means organization, it means championships, it means Pittsburgh.
As long as the Steelers play football, the terrible towel will remain. For 50 years, it has tied our community together by a common golden thread. What started as a gimmick a half-century ago was embraced by myself, my teammates, and all of Steelers Nation. And there's no tradition like waving the terrible towel.
Who is that man with the big cigar? He's known around from near and far. That actor man with the big cigar. He puffs away every night and day with a twinkle in his eye. And all the while behind that smile lurks many an untold lie. Down Whitehall Way you'll see his car. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere with the big cigar.
Parking chair vodka. Respect the chair. It's a Pittsburgh thing.
Lawrenceville Distilling.
Let's talk Steelers.
Hey, it's time for this week's Parking Chair Vodka Shot of the Week. Parking Chair Vodka, you made Lawrenceville Distilling smooth. And next time you're sticking a parking chair on front of your street to save your parking, from the neighbor parking in front of your house again, have a shot of Parking Chair Vodka to start. Maybe you'll mellow out a little bit. Shot of the week is at you. This guy's a more. What's his name? The commissioner of the league? Goodell. Yeah, that moron. Believe me, I remember his name. Roger Goodell, the shot of the week is it. You moron for DK Metcalf, 2 games for getting into it with some guy who provoked him. Meanwhile, Meanwhile, the quarterback for the Ravens actually goes after a guy, grabs him, physically assaults him, but yet you don't suspend the Ravens quarterback, not one single game, but you take DK Metcalf away from our Pittsburgh Steelers as we're trying to make a Super Bowl run. This shot at you, Roger Goodell. You're a moron, and more so, you're an overpaid moron. Hey, don't forget about Forest Lodge and Campground. I was up there this fall. It's beautiful. Go north of Pittsburgh, Cook's Forest. You're going to love it up there. You can drink beer and talk Steelers all day long around the beautiful fire pits at Forest Lodge and Campground. What?
One time, because you parked crooked, I gave you hell.
I'm trying to do a TV show here, all right?
Okay, well, we're here.
He's a regular here at Stil'rs International. This is Ron. He's been with us all season. Can I do my show now, Ron?
Go ahead.
Get out of here.
Thank you very much.
Goodbye. I love it here. Goodbye, Ron. I love it here at Stil'rs International. You know, the guys are so friendly. The ladies are friendly. Everybody's friendly here at Stil'rs International in Bridgeville. If you don't know the cigar lifestyle, come enjoy a good cigar. Maybe try one for the first time ever. You may like it. Everybody's so friendly. Again, Mark Twain said, a stranger is a friend I've never met. You can sit down at a cigar shop and make a friend, and that's the way it is here at Stil'rs International. Don't forget to get online for great discounts at cigarsinternational.com. That's where I get my cigars when I don't get them here at the store. cigarsinternational.com. Also, don't forget, we've got the Stil'rs International golf parties. Stil'rs International golf parties this summer. Come play it. It's going to be a lot of fun playing at Fort Cherry down the road, and you may just end up win a trip to St. Andrews, Scotland. All right, this is the last segment of the year, so a lot of people have one thing and another thing on their mind. Let's start with the quarterback position here. You need to take a time out, Pittsburgh, and appreciate the season Aaron Rodgers has had, and you need to appreciate what he's done. Yeah, there's been some games where he's been off. I'm still convinced that Chargers game, which he played horribly, go back and look at the Bud Dupree hit. I played football all my life and boxed and wrestled. Aaron Rodgers was concussed and they didn't tell anybody about it, or he didn't say a word about it. It's been a great season with Aaron Rodgers. We didn't know what we were going to get in him. You still see the fire. You still see the compassion. You still see the fact that he has the heart of a lion and wants to win. And it's almost like every single play with Aaron Rodgers is to win the Super Bowl. What more do you want out of a quarterback? The release is still there. He's still got feet. He scrambled into the end zone a couple weeks. So Andy Weidel, who works with the Steelers, kudos to you, Andy. You're a football genius. You brought some, well, I call them the junkyard gang to Pittsburgh this year. Look at Ramsey. All of a sudden, he's playing corner. Nope, we need a snot knocker at safety. Ramsey comes in, fills there. He had to play nickel a couple weeks ago. A junkyard gang of former NFL greats came to Pittsburgh this year and have contributed. Andy Weidel knew what we had in Gainwell. He went to Philadelphia and brought him. So tip of the hat to Andy Weidel, who knows the football game. I hope he stays here in Pittsburgh in the long run. More so, this quarterback situation has to end. I don't know who's calling the choices. Andy Weidel wasn't here when they wasted a draft pick, number one, on Kenny Pickett. This is not how you find an NFL quarterback. This is not how you find a generational quarterback. This is not how you find your next Ben Roethlisberger doing what they're doing. You got lightning in a bottle this year with Aaron Rodgers, and you got lucky. The Pittsburgh Steelers need to put a plan together at quarterback. I keep saying this. spend your draft choices on a quarterback every year until you find the next Ben Roethlisberger. If you don't have a good quarterback, you don't play in no Super Bowls, and you don't win no Super Bowls without a quarterback. All you Yunzers and Yunzers Nation know that. When you look at most of the teams that are going into the playoffs right now, there's two things. They got great quarterbacks, and they have offensively minded head coaches. So I'm going to arc now to Mike Tomlin. There's nothing I can say to change your mind if you're watching this show. It's either one of two things right now. Mike Tomlin's a genius who's brought you 20 years of winning football and a Super Bowl trophy, or if you're in my camp, it's time for Mike Tomlin to pack his bags, go to the Greyhound station, and get a bus out of town. I don't care where you go. I don't care if it's NBC, ESPN, CBS, or you go coach the Cleveland Browns next year. The Mike Tomlin era is done. It's over. I could go into a litany of problems and reasons why he was never a good coach. First of all, just take a look at your last 4 offensive coordinators. Mike Tomlin hired them, okay? Hang your hat on this, Steelers Nation. The year we were on a Super Bowl run and your inside linebacker, Shazier, went down, Mike Tomlin went and got Sean Spence off the couch, who weighed about 172 pounds soaking wet, to play inside linebacker on a Super Bowl run. And Leonard Fournette and the Jaguars came to Pittsburgh and ran all over you and destroyed your Super Bowl hopes. Meanwhile, the whole season, Mike Tomlin had, a future Hall of Famer and the owner of the greatest defensive play in Super Bowl history, in a guy named James Harrison, who was angry, sitting on the bench, who could have played inside linebacker and just maybe got you to another Super Bowl. It's time for Mike Tomlin era to be done. Well, that's another season of Let's Talk Steelers. I'm Tank Tantlinger on behalf of Mike McMahon, who's down and out this week. We appreciate you guys watching the show. We know you watch it because you come here into Stil'rs International. We thank all our sponsors for supporting Let's Talk Steelers. So let's hope that they beat the Ravens tonight and we can get into the playoffs and get that victory. Until next time, let's go Steelers.
Who is that man with the big cigar? He's known around from near and far. That actor man with the big cigar. He puffs away every night and day with a twinkle in his eye. And all the while behind that smile lurks many an untold lie. Down Whitehall Way you'll see his car. He's here, he's there, he's everywhere with the big cigar.
We're from the town with that great football team. We cheer the Pittsburgh Steelers. Chuck Noll and all his friends are all on the beat. Go out and get them